Hey guys, good afternoon. First of all, I want to introduce you to my dog Remington. Come on, Remy. There you go. Yes, he's such a sweet dog. Remy, this video is probably going to be a little bit controversial, and you know what? I'm sorry, but I just don't care. Remy is a yellow lab mix. We've lost 2 dogs in the last 2 weeks to coyote attacks. I want you first of all to see the size of Remington. We call her Remy. Why is she named Remington? Because Remington makes guns. Oops, she's tired of waiting on me. Remington makes guns, rifles and shotguns, and they make ammo, bullets, and shotgun shells. And we named her Remington because her brother's name is Gunner. So that'll give you an idea of what people around here are like. Gun ownership is just part of life. I know this is going to be a shock to some people, but typically around here, kids own a BB gun, I don't know, before the age of 8. Daddy's out teaching them how to shoot cans or whatever with a BB gun. I was raised around guns. Almost everyone around here has them. So I just wanted to start out that way. I know it's going to be controversial, and maybe we just need to discuss this. And I want to show you our way of life. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take you down. I'm going to show you around where we live, what kind of open field we have, and kind of show you some of the problems that we're having. Remy got tired of waiting on me. She loves to ride in the gator, and we decided I better take the gator because I'm going to tell you, because of the huge coyote problems we're having right now, we've got traps set and there are hunters out right now. So I'm going to go down and I'll show you around. Hey guys, you've been with me on my gator before. And so now I'm going to take you down kind of close to the creek. But first of all, those are pastures. Those hills that you see down there, I've told you before, there's a creek that runs right on our property line. There's all this brush from wheat stubble, and for miles and miles, it's wide open spaces. And up in those hills, there's a lot of deep gullies. We won't be going there. The old farmers asked that I not go past the haystacks. We also have the cattle pens, lots of weeds and stuff, and then there's the trees. I'm going to show you part of the reason that we've got areas like this, coyotes, and not just coyotes, but there's other wildlife. But the biggest problem right now in our area, and I'll tell you some stories about what's been happening in a little bit. But let's go down a little bit further, and then that's where the old farmer told me don't go any further because of all the traps. We're still in the gator. I'm down where we call our hay stacks. Those are just stacks of hay from the last couple of years, some old stacks, and then this year's hay. See all the weeds? Who knows? There could be coyotes hiding in there right now. They're not going to bother me. Not yet. Not now, I should say. They usually come out at night. They stay pretty much hidden during the daytime. If you see a coyote during the day, they're probably just running from one spot to the next. But let me pull up just a little bit further. And Remy, you have to stay with Mom. Don't you dare get down. See how, I don't know if you can see the feathers strung around. There's feathers probably when they've gotten other animals. And down where those trees are, kind of see them. I'm not supposed to take you to the creek. He said not to go past there. But the creek runs right along there, and the coyotes run up and down the creek. There's always water in it. You got hay bales down here. And you've seen where we keep our cows before. So they're all down in there. Our dogs are farm dogs. They guard the place. That's what farm dogs do. And typically, Remy was sleeping in the sun, and that's what they do all day, is they sleep all day because they're out chasing off coyotes at night. You saw how big Remy was. We lost one dog, I think it was day before yesterday, to a coyote attack. It was obviously more than one coyote because it tore her up pretty bad. Her back end, her hips, and then got around her neck. The vet said it was just in too bad a shape we had to put her down. Made for a pretty rough day. That was the second dog in 2 weeks that we've lost. Remy and Killer, the dog that was killed by the coyotes, typically are the ones that run them off and protect everything around here. So it's pretty upsetting to lose Killer. I know her name doesn't sound good, but she was a very good dog, very sweet dog. The only problem that my dogs have is they're too friendly. I always said if we had a stranger come up, they would welcome them in with open arms and show them where we hide the house key and everything else. But now I'm going to take you over to my daughter's house where the first dog was killed. Okay, right now I am standing over in my daughter's yard, and she was standing about right here because there's a little patio right here. She had let her little Yorkie out to the bathroom, and as most Yorkies, he thought he was a Great Dane or a Pit Bull, so he had no fear. But she was standing right here watching him, and it was just before bedtime. I got a very panicky phone call, yelling and crying and screaming, "Come quick, come quick." We had family or company over, so they helped with us. I'm going to walk out now to where the dog was, and you'll see how close this little puppy was. She saw the coyote and hollered at it. It paid no attention. The little dog was just about in this area, and that coyote nabbed in here in the blink of an eye, grabbed that Yorkie, and ran him out. Oh, I'm going to say maybe 100 yards, maybe 200 yards, but halfway to that group of trees that you see down there. By the time we got over here, it was too late, and all I can tell you, it was horrifying. It was horrifying what we saw. We were able to get enough of the puppy's remains to bury him. And yes, we do bury our pets, and as all of you know, your fur babies are family. But this little puppy just was out going to the bathroom, and she's got trees all around. She's got overgrowth, but those coyotes, you can hear them at night just up over the hill there and all around, and we can hear them at night down on our creek. So what Remy and I want to share with you is, please, please, if you're anywhere where you hear of coyotes or other animals, please be careful. They act in the just so quickly, in the blink of an eye. And yes, we will do our best to get rid of those coyotes. Problem with old Remy here, she lost her 2 best friends in 2 weeks. Guys, she's been so depressed. It's the saddest part's watching her. But I told you our stories, and let me tell you some other stories of friends just locally here who have talked. A young gentleman, his girlfriend works in a vet clinic just down the Oklahoma Panhandle little town. I can't remember right now. But he said a man was with his dog. He said the dog was running along beside him. A lot of people take their dogs running while they drive, so I don't know if that's what it was. But a coyote jumped out of the ditch and got the dog. He was able to save the dog and take it to the vet, and I think he's going to be okay. But he was tore up pretty bad. The coyotes went to his neck. See how loving she is? She's just such a good dog. It's just breaking our heart. We would love to bring her with us, but again, these are farm dogs. She's never had a collar. She's never had a leash. Remy, that's enough. You got dog breath. And she just never really traveled. We have to work with the vets to at least get her rabies shots and stuff. So she's probably going to stay home and when the friend in the care of friends. She's knocking the selfie sticks. What's going on? I've heard lots of stories here recently. Even in our little town, there's coyotes coming in and getting critters. So I've heard out in Arizona they're really bad. Keep them close, guys. A friend of mine, her puppy was 10 feet from her and a coyote ran in the yard, grabbed it, and ran off. So we've declared warfare. I've never seen them this bad. Not this bad. Why are we concerned? Most of us are going to start having our baby calves in February. We have had many times where the cow will lay down to have the calf. Usually they labor standing, but they will lay down just before the calf is born, and the coyotes have come up as she's having the calf, start to eat the calf, and then will also eat the cow. And neither of them, usually they suffer. Usually they've eaten the head off of the calf, so it's gone, but the mama gets chewed up pretty bad, and they'll kill her. So don't think that these are friendly animals. I've understood that they're even really bad in California. I've been reading some articles on that in the cities. Oceanside was one of the places I remember just because I've heard that city a lot. But be careful, guys. Take care of your pets. And another thing, attacking children and adults is not common, but there is records of that. One of my friends here has 5 small children, and she said she looked out one day and there were coyotes not too far from the kids watching the kids. She thinks they were probably more interested in the lambs and hogs, but she wasn't going to take any chances. So, and yes, she knows how to use a gun. We all know how to use a gun. And when it comes to protecting our property, yes, we will use a gun. I know there's going to be problems over this, and I apologize, but until you've lived this, you just don't understand how bad it truly is. So I'm sorry that I've had to have such a rough sounding video, but I want to make everybody aware. And things have been pretty tough here for the last 2 weeks to lose 2 of our fur babies in 2 weeks in such a horrible, brutal way. Bye-bye, guys. Riding back over from my daughters and freezing to death, I remembered of another story that just happened. By the way, you see the RV and the pickup, and I'm too cold to remember what we named them right now. But a friend of mine told me it's been within the last couple of months. They too have a farm dog that these farm dogs just don't want to come in the house. And we've worked for a long time to get our dogs to stay in the house at night or when it's really, really hot, and they just won't come in. So anyway, her farm dog was just having fits one night. So she looked out, and there was what appeared to be a wounded coyote trying to bait the dog out. Well, the dog wouldn't go out, and she said, thank goodness, because in the bushes next to it were 3 more. And these are some tricky little fellas. They do work in packs sometimes. And these guys, the sick one, the one acted wounded so he could bait out the dog, and the others would be there to attack. We think by what we've seen that Killer was probably attacked by more than one, and probably, knowing the way Remy is, Remy helped ward off the attack and got her to come home. We just found her laying in the yard, wounded pretty badly. So I just don't know what else to say. It's been tough. And I don't want anything to happen to your pets or to your family. So please be careful.